Recently, I had to go through a week of some of the worst comics I have ever had to review. It was absolutely terrible, one after the other. Just terrible, 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 terrible nonsense. And it's brought up a lot of aggression in me because I think the best way to explain this is that it's just grinding my gears. It got me back again to that point where it's literally just grinding my gears. I am just so sick of what is now passing as comics and it literally pisses me off. Literally pisses me off. And I decided, you know what? I'm just going to voice my opinion here. Let it all out. Just let you know these are things that are pissing me off, driving me nuts, grinding my gears. These people are the 7 things that are pissing me off right now. Don't get me wrong. There's more. There's plenty more. But these are the 7 right now as driving me crazy. Let's dive into it with number 1. Retcons. Oh God, am I sick and tired of retcons. I am sick and tired of these so-called New Age writers coming in and wanting to screw around with what has already been established. We know Superman's history. We know Batman's history. We know Punisher's history. We know Spider-Man's history. No, that's not good enough. We can't make anything of our own. Let's go into what's already established and shove our nasty little fingers in there and move it around till we get it to look kind of like what it is we want it to look like. I mean, you may think this is a ridiculous thing, but I tell you, it's only a matter of time until somebody, maybe Jason Aaron, I don't know, comes with this storyline saying that, you know what? The whole thing with the Waynes getting murdered was actually set up by Batman, Bruce Wayne, because why? He wanted control of his family's money, and he figured that, you know what, his parents were just taking too long to die. So he decided to just, move it along a little bit. Or, next thing, or he could very well come out, you know what, Krypton isn't actually gone. No, Jor-El just stuck Kal-El in a rocket and fired him to Earth because he and Lana was going through this horrible divorce, and he didn't want she to get the child. If you want an even better example of an entire of a retcon that made no sense, just look at what Jason Aaron did to Punisher. The whole aspect of Frank Castle's life is that, he was a soldier. He was a Marine. He came back home and war kind of thing. But then his family getting killed is what turned him into Punisher. He went out to exact bloody revenge on everybody, all criminals, so that nobody will have to suffer like that. We all know Punisher is a psychopath, right? That's the whole appeal of the character. That's why people like it. But no, Jason Aaron went in and decided, you know what, let's change everything. Turns out, Frank Castle was murdering people who were 6 years old. He was mixing napalm and burning people alive. When he did eventually get married, his wife and children were terrified of him. And right before they were killed, his wife wanted to divorce him and leave. And when you see he didn't become leader of the Hand and brought her back, what did she do? Take all his money, shoot him in the chest, call him a little bitch, and leave. That's it. And if you want to think before that, there was a storyline where they literally had Punisher using his wife and children as human shields when somebody started shooting at him. Come on, number, stop touching what you didn't create, for God's sakes. You're all messing up everything because you don't know how to make anything good, so you're just retconning the crap out of everything. Nobody asked you to do it. Stop freaking doing it. And then we get on to number 2. Awful awful art. Sometimes you will look at the cover for these comics, and the cover art is actually so good. Then you get to the interior and you ask, what the hell? It looks like a professional artist literally spent time and energy to make this amazing cover, and then when it comes to the interior art, they gave it to a 2-year-old with a crayon and they said, go wild. That was it. Look at that recently canceled and everything. I mean, the Robin series that they did. The first issue, the cover art for that looked spectacular. When you get into the actual book now, you want to vomit with every page that you turn. It was that bad. They turned Robin into the biggest twink they could possibly find, and just forgot, yeah, this artwork works for that. It's absolutely ludicrous. Recently, I actually had to review that god-awful Gotham City Sirens when they made Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Catwoman all look horrendously ugly. 3 of the most beautiful and attractive women in comics. They made them look absolutely horrendous. Poison Ivy's whole thing is that she looks beautiful and captivating. That's why you go towards your death when it comes to... But no, they literally found a way to make her look like she had got an alien mini face or something like that. So stupid. So absolutely. You keep getting that plenty times. Even a little while back with the X-Men book when they were fighting Orcus, they had this cover with Cyclops on, looking like he was being tortured, and the cover we gone for that art looked fantastic. When you got to the actual interior of the book, it looked like crap. It looked like crap. So you hire artists to literally make these amazing covers, because it has people out there who just buy comics for the covers alone. That's it. And when you get to the actual art, you get the actual artwork inside the book, it matches the story, which is just absolute and utter garbage. That's it. Absolutely awful art, boy. God. Number 3. Super families galore. I warned you all about this. I said this was going to happen. I said it was going to happen. It is happening now. Look at all these so many super families that are going on. Batman used to have Batman, Robin, Batgirl. That was it. Now we have Spoiler. Now we have Batwing. Now we have Signal. Now we have this, that, and the other. All of that. You want to talk about something else? Let's talk about Superman's family, for instance. It used to just be Superman and Supergirl. Superboy also, okay, we can work with that. No, now we have Superman, Supergirl, Superboy, 2 children who have superpowers. The Superman of Asia, Lois, Lana Lang have superpowers too. You have Steel, and then coming down towards the end of Absolute Power, for one of what I understand, Lois Lane is going to be transformed into Superwoman again, because yeah, we all want that. One of the worst things that they have done is to keep giving people powers. Mary Jane never needed powers. Lois Lane doesn't need power. Every time you keep doing this crap, it pisses people off. That's what you keep doing. It pisses people off. How many flashes are there right now? I think probably about almost 20, if not so much. I'm telling you, there's so many Flash out there. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Don't talk about Spider-Man. There's a Spider person literally every week. You have Spider-Man, you have Spider-Woman, you have Spider-Girl, you have Spider-Boy, you have Scarlet Spider, you have this Spider, you have Silk, you have Red. Oh, God, boy. All you know set up. Every time you keep doing this, you keep adding these people in, you cheapen how original and good the original character is. And yes, I'm going to say this very clearly. I don't care who don't like it. Miles Morales is not Spider-Man. But you just keep doing it. You are bloating everything to the point now it's getting absolutely freaking ridiculous. There are 100 of every character out there. Look at freaking Green Arrow. You just keep increasing his count of how many members of his family he has. Oh God, boy. When you had Green Arrow, you had Speedy, that was all you needed. Well, Red Arrow is a much better name for me, but I just say that's all. No! You just keep blowing up and bloating these things and just getting the public absolutely real. I said this was going to keep happening. It keeps on happening and it keeps getting worse. Bloody hell, boy. Number 4, events. In any given year, there is about 4 to 5 different events, and they literally have absolutely no meaning. Blood Hunt ended a little while ago. You know what the whole purpose of Blood Hunt was? Just to set up for Dr. Doom to become Sorcerer Supreme. You couldn't run some other way. You really couldn't run some other way. All those ridiculous books that nobody read, because I sure as hell didn't read it. For what? You have absolute power going on right now, and that is going nowhere. Literally nowhere. And when that is over, you'll get a next event, and another event, and another event, and another event. Oh God, let it breathe a little bit now. Events should be something that come along every few years. You build up to it. You get things going. You make people interested in it, and you say, okay, this is an event we're going on here. It's leading up to this big event that's happening. Fine. But every year is event after event after event after event after event after event after event. What are you all doing? This is not some comic con that have event. People want to read actual story of what's going on. You cannot start a story, even if it's going good. Then you just drop it to jump into an event. And when you come back to the original story, nobody cares. Or the quality just completely drops. These events are draining the life out of the comic book industry, and it needs to stop. Number 5, the LGBTQ agenda. At this point, it's not even a guess anymore as to what's happening. It's not even a guess anymore as to what's happening when it comes to this. There is no other way to put it other than the fact that there is an agenda. Literally, every month, somebody's getting turned gay, somebody supposedly bisexual who will never touch a member of the opposite sex again, when it just keeps pushing the agenda non-stop. I recently had to review Dazzler #1. You tell me, if you haven't watched that video yet, go back and watch it and then come back to this, and you tell me that entire book is not designed to just push the alphabet community literal agenda there. You had Dazzler around singing that, oh, we out and proud. Oh, this nonsense. And even when it comes to that, being a mutant now in the Marvel universe is now literally akin to being an immigrant and a member of the alphabet community. That's it. All kind of ridiculous, mutant pride and all kind of nonsense. Every week somebody getting chased somewhere. They did that whole Fire and Ice story a little while back that nobody read. Why? Because you just keep putting nonsense in there non-stop. Non-stop. Who in God's name is actually going to stop and read that? With all you're doing is putting every character has to make it. And you know that once these characters get to that point, they never go back, never get any kind of good, decent story out of them ever again. You literally cannot have a personality other than just being gay. That's it. That's all you are. That's all these stories are about. They just constantly try to tell that. Like I said before, that Hawk Girl series that they did the other day, that book was just basically about three lesbians who wanted to gang rape Supergirl. That wasn't disturbing and disgusting, but that's what they literally wanted to do. That's the thing. There's no kind of stories to be told anymore. It's just everything needs to be that. Everything's to be pushing that one sick agenda that people are just sick and tired of tuning out. That's it. Non-stop with this nonsense. Number 6, bargain bin writers. There has to come a point when you have to either ask yourself, am I going to hire talented people, or am I just going to watch my company burn? That's it. But because they don't want to pay people any kind of decent wage, because they only want people who align with them politically, they literally chase away the writers who actually can do things to get the industry back. And recently, there was the article I covered where a fan wrote to Marvel and talked about how they wanted them to retcon one more day. And the editor basically was just lambasting the guy, and you can see how much from that they just don't care about their fans. Because as far as they are concerned, they're writing these books for themselves. That's it. Zeb Wells' run on Spider-Man has been an unmitigated disaster. Absolute disaster. Gotham War, absolute freaking mess. And it just keeps going on because you get these terrible writers. How many times are you going to keep canceling Tini Howard and bringing her back, canceling Tini Howard and bringing her back, and just keep watching these things go down the drain? You all are literally hiring some of the worst writers possible. I can't even name them because I'm not good with names. I do apologize, but I'm just saying terrible, terrible writers. You just need to look at these books and you can see how much they will just continue to just destroy everything. And finally, number 7, stories that make you, the fans, suffer. If you are going to tell a story, you should tell a story that you care about and that your fans are going to enjoy. You don't get that anymore. You don't. What you literally get is a bunch of absolute nitwits, right? These are some of the worst things in recorded history. You tell me of one person who actually wants Mary Jane to be Jackpot. You tell me the name of one person who actually cares about anything that's going on in absolute power and all this nonsense. Nobody. You know what? It's meaningless. Absolutely meaningless. They keep telling this story over and over. Who do you think wants to sit there and read Spider-Man's life continue to just turn into an absolute mess day in and day out? Who? Who wants to read that? Who do you think are actually eager to buy Amazing Spider-Man every month to watch Peter Parker turn into the biggest waste of web fluid in history? Who? But you cannot write decent books. You keep giving people garbage. If you want an actual idea for a good book, here's an idea for a good book. Paul dying like about 10 to 20 different ways. That's it. You could literally take my money right now because I would love it because everybody hates Paul. Everybody. But no, you keep giving people a bunch of crap that nobody cares about. These are literally some of the worst stories you're getting. The literal Krakoan era destroying the X-Men. And everything that's spun out from it has been total and absolute garbage. And it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. As far as they are concerned, they don't have a problem with continuing to do this nonsense endlessly. These things drive me crazy, people you wouldn't believe. You have Tom King's Wonder Woman book. The book literally started off with an Amazon killing some guys in a bar for grabbing her ass, and yet you haven't heard anything about that after. You never saw the Amazon again. You never heard anything about it again. It has devolved into the United States banning Amazons, who apparently are all living there because they left Themyscira for some reason. Then it comes down to the United States declaring Wonder Woman public enemy number one, and the sovereign and the lasso allies. All this nonsense that nobody cares about. But that's what you're doing. You're telling these terrible stories, and then you have these writers acting like they're writing these scripts to turn them into Hollywood movies. Stop hiring these literal bargain bin writers to write stories and literally making the fans suffer. Come on now, man. God, these are the 7 things people in comic books that really grind my gears. There are more, but these are the 7 that really grind my gears. I am so sick and tired of all this nonsense. But they just refuse to stop and just want to keep doing it to make everybody worse and worse and make everyone piss off people more and more. Oh, boy. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Be notified every time I put a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.